Thank you, Congal. Minister, have you any idea the number of businesses around the country that were awaiting this finance bill details today? My God, were they surprised. So many of them will not qualify for the Temporary Business Energy Support Scheme, the TBESS scheme, where the revenue will need to see an increase of over 40% or more on your electricity or gas bills when compared with electricity and gas bills of this time last year. We have been accused in the past by Micheál Martin that we do not understand the crisis and the consequences of the war within Russia and Ukraine, but we seem to understand a lot more than what you do. Yet the finance bill was a government's own making, and they missed out on an opportunity in helping businesses around the country by the restrictions of the scheme that they brought in the budget. The restrictions will now prohibit a lot of businesses from availing of the TBESS. And do you know why, Minister? Because a lot of businesses 6 or 7 months ago decided that they would take the advice of yourselves and try and save on energy. So what did they do? They went away and they put in solar panels and borrowed money for their business to put in solar panels to reduce their energy costs. They then bought generators to reduce their energy costs, to now find out that the scheme, they now don't qualify for the scheme after doing all of the investment. Many of the businesses have up to 25 and 35% of the scheme that they will not get any financial reward. I spoke to actually a quarry today, and it's amazing that the U-turn that you've done on the block levy. Something that I highlighted myself to you about the lunacy of you bringing in a concrete levy in the first place, because you were targeting every person in this country, whether they were building a house, renovating a house, doing up their garden, replacing a driveway, whatever they were doing in there, that you were bringing in this concrete levy. And you didn't think it through, Minister, because then you had to do your U-turn. Your backbenchers finally found a small bit of a backbone and threatened you, and you done your U-turn, but you only reduced it by 5% and delaying it until September next year. But I'll tell you, if that happens, your backbenchers will come under a lot more pressure than what they were this year, Minister. So what is the crux of this? How does the government help you in an energy crisis? The price of fuel goes up. The government's taxation system in this country, we take 50% on diesel, and we take the 50% on petrol. So for every euro you spend in the fuel pump, they're taking 50% of it. So what manufactures the food in this country? Fossil fuel vehicles, whether it has tractors setting the seeds, whether it has tractors bringing in the silage that feed the cattle that then go to the creamery, and the milk goes to the creamery by truck, fossil fuel, gets all to your premises for you to eat, fossil fuel. The government take 50% on tax. How many billion have you taken on tax? And you've just said today, we've managed to do an €11 billion package for the country, and we didn't have to borrow a cent. Why? Because you robbed it off the country in the first place. You robbed it off of the squeeze middle. The people, the entrepreneurs of this country that are trying to stay in business, you robbed them. I hope this year, when you face this year and you look at the children come Christmas time, and you will be looking at them, that you will be the cause of a lot of sorry on a lot of people's faces. They can barely put food on the table, and all you do, Minister, is tax after tax after tax. Whereas if it's not on the fuel, you go to everything else at 23%, and your government are backing you. Well, shame on all of you.